and might play a huge role in the match that we're about to watch.
All right, everybody, let's get down to it. It's time for round number 11. I'm going to pass it on over to Marshall and Monty with the call.
Thank you so much, Maria, and welcome back to the booth here at the PT. That's Monty DeVidio, Marshall Sutcliffe. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. And we're entering into that last round of Limited. This is the last time the players get to place their stamp on Limited. And of course, we're going to be deciding some 3-0s in their pod. That's the most important thing to come away with, as many of those as you can in Limited. It has a major effect on your ability to make the top 8 of the tournament. You know, your goal is to crush Limited and have a good enough shot in Constructed, because the truth is, even if your Constructed deck is awesome, you have to do well enough in Limited or you're not going to make it. Let's see if it's going to be Sam Pardee or Mingyang Chen on the bottom part of your screen there. Both of these players coming in at 8 and 2, who is going to pick up their 3-0 for their pod. As you can see, a nice quick start here for Sam Pardee. He had that one drop that's so critical. If you can play a relevant one drop, really any time in this format, it gives you a big bump on win rate.
Yeah, and both players really on aggressive decks. Sam is with a splash of blue, but he is essentially an aggressive Orzhov deck, and having a curve of the Gorehound into the Market Watch Phantom, fantastic.
Wow.
For Mingyang, we know that his Boros deck is quite aggressive as well, but anytime you're playing a Pyrotechnic Performer face up,
I almost feel bad.
Yeah, you're
like,
not happy.
This is not where you want to be, especially if it ends up, I mean, maybe trading for one of these cards?
Yeah.
If he can get the, okay, no, it looks like the Market Watch Phantom's not going to be able to jump into the sky this time.
That's Teysa, I believe.
Oh, okay. Wow, this is a nice 1, 2, 3.
This is a pretty incredible 1, 2, 3 here for Sam.
So this is going to get him an Investigate on his end step, which he just did.
Yep. That Investigate can then make flyers with the spirits once per turn, but still incredible.
Oh, this is great for Sam Pardee. Yeah. A face-down creature here from Mingyang Chen. He hasn't attacked yet.
Yeah, now notably, I think that's a Dog Walker, and I think there's a person of interest in Mingyang's hand. So that Dog Walker will deal some damage, will make some tokens, person of interest, more board presence. I think I see a Krenko's Buzz Crusher over in Mingyang's hand. So big flyer, but life total dwindling.
Yeah, this is impressive. I mean, these are some major heavy hitters coming down from both players here.
I think Sam has 2 Toxin Analysis as well, so this is a risky block here because that Dog Walker's gone. You, yes, traded for the Gorehound, but that's not really exciting. And hey, the clue with Teysa, that's not just a clue on a card, that is a spirit as well.
That's right, and it's going to be a clue and then another one, right?
Yeah.
Because the Market Watch Phantom got through. Well, I'm saying another clue off the Toxin Analysis.
Yep.
Right, and then he can, well, in this case, he's going to be tapped out, but those will become spirits at some point.
Combat damage happens.
We did see the clue sacked in combat, by the way, because Sam hasn't made a land drop yet this turn. So wanting to have the ability maybe to play that land post-combat. But the Gorehound is gone, and of course, also sacking it in combat means the Gorehound sees the spirit coming in, which gets you an extra surveil. So the timing's really being abused by Sam here to just get maximum value, as if you need more value in this situation.
That's right. He even had a surveil land follow-up, and the card stayed on top of the library.
It does look like...
There's the Buzz Crusher. It actually finds a target.
It does look like Sam may have missed the clue trigger at the end step. He should have 2 here.
Yeah, the Market Watch Phantom did get through, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, down to 16 is Chen, so...
You know, not the end of the world here, but if this game gets grindy, as it may, if Chen is able to stabilize here, then that is going to be a missed trigger of the clue from Sam, which could end up being costly. Fortunately, playing a basic means that this Buzz Crusher is not taking away his blue mana, so that Alquist Prof that he is splashing, he does still have access to it. We saw previously Jesse Hampton not playing a forest for his green splash, so if this was the same type of situation, could have been really costly.
Right.
But Sam is prepared.
Clandestine Meddler.
Okay, that's a Clandestine Meddler now from Sam.
Target my spirit to become a
And he's going to give his spirit token Suspect.
More surveilling, that'll get through. Now, Teysa once again will get a trigger. You'll get another clue. That'll give you another spirit. You continue going wider. And if Sam has On the Job in his deck, which I don't fully remember if he does, but I believe he probably has one, then going wide is very, very scary.
Yeah, I have to say though, Mingyang Chen has put up some powerhouse cards here. Look at his board right now.
Go to 14.
Yep, that's
I mean,
two
those
rares.
are 2 rares, and then the Dog Walker is one of the best commons in his graveyard already as well. So he is not short on card quality. The question is, can he come back? He is behind here. There's a person of interest too. That's a premium red common.
And there's one aspect of Mingyang's deck that
End of turn,
can't
I'm gonna
be
crack with blue.
overstated. Reach.
And make a spirit.
Because Mingyang gets some damage through 2 copies of Pyrotechnic Performer in that deck. So if Mingyang suddenly finds the second one and flips that face up, that's going to be 6 damage right there. Every disguised creature after that will just continue adding up.
That's a great point, Monty. And as you can see, these board states, they have gotten very wide. Many, many creatures represented here. 6 on the side for Sam, or excuse me, 5, and 4 for Chen.
The attack with the Spirit gives you a Surveil thanks to the Meddler. That'll put a Fairy Snoop in the graveyard. Sam not overly interested in that one. And the question is, oh, I see the Vein Ripper in Sam's hand. I think he's looking for the 6th land right now and doesn't have it. But Marsh, when Vein Ripper hits the battlefield in Limited, the game doesn't really continue.
No, it doesn't, and especially when it looks like this.
Yeah.
Where, you know, at that point, you can do the math and say, I maybe can just attack with everything, and even the creatures that die, you know, get eaten by the opposing creatures makes it enough so that lethal.
And I love this face-up Sanguine Savior from Sam, because I think Sam is well aware of the reach capabilities of Mingyang's deck. So you don't really want to be taking too much damage. If Mingyang attacks with his Buzz Crusher, Sam can sack a clue, make a spirit, that'll give the Phantom flying, you'll have the Sanguine Savior, you'll have 2 spirits. That's enough creatures to throw them potentially all in front of the Buzz Crusher. Yeah, you'll lose a lot of your flying force if you really want to play it safe and block with everything. But once that's off the board, Mingyang has nothing really.
And there, he's going already for this play.
Yeah, the
Sacrifice the Spirit.
big question for Sam is, do you block with 4 creatures, which plays around a removal spell, or do you just block with, let's say, the Phantom and the Savior and say, okay, a removal spell is a bit of a blowout for me here?
I'll block with that.
Wow.
All right.
All the blocks.
All the blocks, get rid of
Fear
both things.
no combat trick, says Sam Pardee.
1 trample negated by the 2
I'm
life
gonna
link.
gain 2 life. This
Temple what?
I take 1, so yeah.
Yep.
I'm at 15. And you're-
Sam is perfectly fine
Yeah, I
to
mean,
have the board state turn out this way, but I got to say, if you're staring at a Vein Ripper in your hand, you
Oh, yeah, the
block
game's
would have been
over.
kind of cooler if that was on the battlefield.
yeah, I think Pardee's just looking at the Vein Ripper, and if he's found the land, the game is just over. And, you know, Sam Pardee playing Rakdos Vampires in the Pioneer portion of this weekend, I don't think he's any stranger to a Vein Ripper hitting the board and the game being over. I'm sure being here at 8-2 involved some of those situations the previous day.
And there it is, Monty. The Vein Ripper hits the battlefield. A little preview of what he's going to do for the rest of the day after this round is over. And it's going to make life very difficult for Chen here. I mean, we saw already that Chen just hasn't had any removal this game.
Yeah.
Right? He hasn't been able to stem the bleeding as far as any type of attacks go. But more importantly, we see Teysa now, Vein Ripper. And, you know, last term he played double bystander. Now it's going to be a Goblin Mask Maker. None of these are what's needed.
And this is really what people have been talking about when referring to this format not being that fast. There's an initial burst, right? It's the first few turns, you can put on pressure. But once you're able to stabilize and turn the corner against any of these aggressive decks, once you're able to grind them out a bit, as Sam has been doing using Teysa, and, you know, Sam has been doing it using very powerful rares, but using Teysa, suddenly Mingyang's draws are the Mask Maker and the Bystander. It's not exciting.
Go to my end step, make a clue.
I have to agree with you on that one, Monty. Not that exciting. There's a Fester Leech. I think he put a Putrid Warrior back on top with Surveil as well. Just any creature, any action at all from Sam Pardee is good enough.
Yeah, there's a Vein Ripper on the board.
Exactly.
Everything is good enough.
Right, and Mingyang Chen takes a look and says, okay, I'm not going to play anymore against this Vein Ripper. So they're both going to pack it up. And, you know, that really was a tale of just no removal whatsoever. Sam was able to dictate how that game played out because everything he played stuck on the battlefield.
Yeah, and look, Teysa is one of those cards that is sort of an engine all by herself. Just the ability to draw cards and make spirits and have a body. A 2-3 in this format is a body.
Definitely.
That is a blocker, right? All of that in one package is terrifying. And this is a disaster for Mingyang that is turn 3 and he's making his first play. This deck has 1-drops. This deck has 2-drops. A lot of 2-drops, by the way, I should say. So the fact that we are here, that's bad. And you see a red herring in his hand, but he didn't have the mountain. That was the draw that turn.
That's just everything not working out the way that Mingyang Chen wanted for his curve out.
Exactly.
Now he's going to find himself being attacked here. The Market Watch Phantom's going to get in for 2 in the air. Land number 4 for Chen.
I believe there's a case of the Gateway Express in Chen's hand, so could use that here with the 2-drop to get rid of the Phantom. That at least slows things down from Sam.
That was a nice double spell turn.
That was a great turn.
That's the kind of turn that he needs to get back into this game. So the 1-2 punch there from Chen, he not only built out his board with the bystander, but the case of the Gateway Express takes down the best threat on the other side, or the only targetable threat, let's say. And Sam now has to rebuild a little bit.
And, you know, this is a big part of the game plan for these aggressive decks that needs to be touched upon, is the ability to double spell. If you're getting to turn 4 and 5 and you're going, all right, I play a 2-drop, float 2 mana, go. That's not why these decks are scary. It's the fact that your curve is so low that going into those later turns, you're able to go card, or card answer, push damage through. That's what lets you compound pressure and then go on the job, or solve my case of the Gateway Express. Now I have a pseudo Anthem on the board.
Right, and we saw that here from Chen. If Chen had the curve out plus that double spell, it's kind of GG most of the time. In this case, he was missing the first part, but the double spell turn got him right back into this game.
Yeah, now it really is sort of an on-par game. The big issue for Chen is he has the weaker deck in this sort of battle.
Right. Now that we're on 5 mana, now that we're in the middle to later part of the game.
Yes, he has the Performers. Yes, he has the Buzz Crusher, but Sam has Alcus Prof and Vein Ripper and Teysa. So the haymakers that Sam is going to play when he's at 20 life and not worried about getting burned out are going to be a lot more terrifying than what Chen is doing here.
It's also really annoying for Chen because he's playing against Sam Pardee.
Yeah.
And Sam knows the list, and Sam understands the power of Pyrotechnic Performer and the reach that you talked about earlier, where, you know, your life total can look pretty good. You're at 11, you're fine, and then all of a sudden 2 cards get flipped up and you just took 5 or 6, and it's like, whoa, you know, one more face down creature and an attack step and it could all be over.
Sam, 15 Grand Prix top 8s, Strixhaven champion, Pardee.
Knows his way around a magic card, let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Tough decision there for Chen. A cheeky attack.
Has played a game or 2 of Magic.
And he does decide ultimately to block with the Crowd Control Warden that was face down.
Yeah, and this is about as bad as that combat could have worked out, I think.
Yes, because you think that Chen was probably thinking about toxin analysis and going, do I really want to give that up? But it was much, much worse. It was presumed dead. So that's another trigger from the unscrupulous agent as well.
Yeah, and Sam has 2 toxin analysis, so definitely reasonable to think maybe that's the one. Presumed dead, an extra card out of your hand, plus you get the creature back. Really rough. And now Sam has the follow-up of Teysa. It's just...
This is a second main phase red herring here. Another not really where you want to be type scenario here for Chen. He can cash that in for a
third
card.
swamp. Rip him. Rip him.
Vein Ripper.
Rip. I don't think I see it in the hand.
Okay, I think we'd probably see it on the battlefield. Okay,
is it face out?
No.
Alley Assailant.
It's an Alley Assailant getting turned face up.
And I believe that is enough to trigger Teysa, just getting that drain ability. So
loss?
Yeah, so you don't.
Sorry, loss of life.
So you don't actually have to attack, and Sam's not interested in attacking because Mingyang has 2 copies of On the Job. You don't want to make it easier for this attack, especially if that could be a dog walker, which it is. Fortunately for Sam, case of the Gateway Express not solved. So right now, the creatures are still relatively small, and that means Sam is firmly in control at 23 health.
Yeah, after passing the turn, Chen had to make a decision on red herring or to turn up dog walker. Since he could delay the decision on the herring, he decided to go for the walker and get his board state built out. That's a Krovod haunch. Okay, well that means that the red herring actually has reasonable attacks now.
Yeah, and I think the card left in Chen's hand is Krenko's Buzz Crusher, but no second mountain, so that's not coming down to be a flyer. And with just one red mana left up, yes, there's Felonious Rage in the format, but I don't think we saw that in Chen's deck, and that means Sam can just block without impunity here.
Sorry? 20, yeah, I gained 3 and I took 3, right?
And not 3.
Yep.
Yeah, unfortunately there for Chen, in order to solve the case, he did have to throw away one of the dog tokens, basically.
I mean, this is what we're seeing turn after turn, right? You know, we sort of like to call them desperation plays. When you see a post-combat red herring, that's not a good sign.
Right.
When you see creatures being thrown away to solve a case that benefits from having more creatures on the battlefield, that's not a good sign, right? And all of these things are adding up to definitely tell the story that Chen is in trouble.
See if Sam Pardee can close the door. Being up a game. In the first place, though, he's just going to chip in once again with an extremely annoying Unscrupulous Agent. You see the 2 exiled cards there for Chen. Those are both from that.
Draw a card, make a spirit.
And look, 9 and 2 after limited, going into constructed, needing 3 wins before the last round to just lock up that top 8.
That's a great point, Monty. If you get
Great
12
spot to
wins
be.
here, you're a lock.
Go to my end step, make a flip.
This is the brutal part, is Sam attacks with a suspected creature against a board of all 1 toughness creatures. So if Mingyang blocks, then he loses one of those creatures for essentially a nothing creature. But when you don't block, what you're giving Sam is another clue, which is another spirit. And because Sam sacked a clue on his turn and has another clue for Mingyang's turn, you're in the ultimate dream scenario of getting Teysa twice in a turn cycle.
That's right. Once on your turn, once on theirs. This Unscrupulous Agent is like the best Unscrupulous Agent ever. It triggered twice, and it's generating clue tokens with Teysa out somehow.
And it only needed to generate the clue once, because now that you have the spirits, they'll do the generating. That's the beauty of Teysa, is it's very self-contained. Once you get going, the card continues to go and go and go. And even though Mingyang has that Buzz Crusher in hand, still no second mountain.
Yeah, it's really tough for Mingyang Chen. Teysa has hit the battlefield both games and has gone unchecked. And it is not the hardest card to remove.
No.
Right? You know,
especially for red, white, you have a decent number of removals.
Yeah, totally.
Makeshift binding.
Right, and it just feels like Chen has not either doesn't have those tools or hasn't been able to find them. And you cannot sit across from a Teysa turn after turn. I mean, it adds cards and board state at the same time, and that's deadly combo.
She will end the game.
Definitely.
That's what she does. And for Chen, best case scenario, that disguised creature is a pyrotechnic performer. You flip it face up, you deal 4 damage at the end step. Cool, Sam's a 16.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem here. There's double trigger here off of Inside Source, thanks to the Snarling Gorehound. And once again, since damage happened, or
planes,
loss of life in this case, there's a clue.
Okay, so
another, come on.
You have the haunch here. You can sack that, get 2 dogs, but
Chen just, it's like every single turn, every single play has been one off of what you really would prefer to do for that turn. And falling behind that far is really difficult to come back. And again, Chen is forced to just pass the turn back over. You got to feel for Chen.
And Chen's deck is good. Like, it's
good.
not okay. Chen's deck is very good.
Double Pyrotechnic Performer kills a
double
lot
performer,
of people.
Double on the job. As you can see from this board, a lot of ability to go wide. But these spirits, as soon as Sam feels slightly threatened, if he starts just leaving spirits back, none of your creatures have trample. What are you going to do?
Right.
Okay, on the job. I lose 4 spirits that I've essentially created for free.
Exactly.
Now what?
Right. When the players do go back to constructed, you mentioned it, Monty, that Sam Pardee's on Rakdos Vampires, and if he can close out this match, would just need to win 3 more to secure the top 8. for Chen, if he wins this match, he's on Lotus Field combo going back into Constructed, so.
Okay. Lotus Field, one of the better performing decks
deck.
this weekend. I believe of the big decks played, it is actually Vampires that has the best win rate after day one. We don't have the official numbers yet, but some people have been crunching them, and I believe Vampires was the overnight leader in between, you know, the big sample size decks. So both players happy with their constructed choice. Both players getting here at 6-2 to the day, and now 2-0. So even for Chen, taking a loss here, not the end of the world. It's the next loss that will probably be devastating for him. But he can definitely recover from here. And Lotus Field, we watched a lot of it yesterday, Marshall. Really strong deck, really powerful. That Archdruid's Charm, massive addition to the deck.
Definitely. And by the way, once again, Chen is forced to just simply pass the turn back while Sam says, okay, on your end step, I'm going to crack a clue. I'm going to get a 1-1. I'm going to get a surveil off of it.
Another planes drawn.
Right, and the value just grows further and further. Alquist Proft on the battlefield. Aces on the battlefield as well.
Now, no second blue currently means Proft isn't able to Sphinx's Revelation, which is the scariest part of the card.
And if you look, I don't know if there's a third blue source for Pardee, but the blue-black duel's already in the yard.
I would guess that he's probably playing 2 islands, especially if he has something like an escape tunnel, as you want to be doing.
So all he needs is an island and he'll be ahead.
Yeah, the island is really what is keeping Sam behind in this game right now.
Yeah. Yeah, this has been extremely tough for Chen, I think. Again, just slightly off curve, having to make some awkward trades, having that blowout with the presumed dead has just made Chen's life really difficult. And now, you know, if you've ever played this style of deck, even a good version like what Chen has, you're kind of just waiting to die. Like, there are very few ways from this position to come back. And furthermore, Sam Pardee's not going to give you any wiggle room. He's way too good to leave the door open for even a 2-card combination to kill you.
Yeah, Sam did give Chen a little bit of value here. Attacking with the Proft did allow Chen to block with that bystander and get a clue. So that's an extra card, but Sam just has Macabre Construction. And the thing is, what Chen is drawing to isn't good. In this board state, in this position, in this game, the cards aren't there in this deck.
Oh, the second red source
Yay.
here, about 6 turns too late.
Hello.
It's just a Buzz Crusher as a Buzz Crusher. There's no target.
Maybe an inside source here to follow it up. Nope, just a disguise.
Well, there's another double spell turn, but it just feels woefully behind the curve here. I just can't see any way out for Chen from this point. Again, you know, it does depend on who you're playing. Chen's deck is capable of piling on absolutely huge amounts of damage seemingly out of nowhere, but Sam's too good. He's just not going to let him do it.
He's not running out of cards. That's the big issue, is because of these clues that Teysa is making, Sam is just never going to run out of cards, never going to run out of value.
It's not the worst when you play Teysa and it never leaves the battlefield.
I think that's just game. The Buzz Crusher was prevented a little damage.
City Eliminator there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Eliminator came down, sacked the inside source, exiles the Buzz Crusher. Sam needs a creature with 2 or less power to jump this Phantom as well if he has it. If he doesn't, he can just attack with Spirits. And
next turn end the game.
You gotta love the discipline from Sam Pardee here. He's at 20. There's nothing that is threatening him right now, but he's only attacking with 3 Spirits, setting up lethal for next turn potentially, because he's imagining the worst case scenario. Let's say
multiple cards, multiple things. Yeah.
Let's say Chen has Performer face down, flips 1, 3 damage, flips the second, 6 damage, and has On the Job.
Right.
What if that sequence could kill Sam? He's like, all right, I'll leave back 2, 4, 7 blockers. I'm good.
Yeah, and is it 4 and 8 on this board state too?
Oh, because of the case.
Yeah. So I mean, really, his deck is capable of absolutely massive sums of damage.
Yep.
But again, Sam is playing this about as safely as you could imagine.
0 risk whatsoever.
Right. And, you know, this is what professional players do.
Yep,
Is
absolutely.
they view kind of like a sliding scale in their head. How far ahead am I will dictate how much risk they're willing to take. And if you're really far ahead, you're willing to take almost no risk, and that's exactly where Sam's at. And that's why, you know, I bet you a lot of you tuned in and saw all those creatures on Sam's side with Chen at 10, and you're like, okay, yeah, you just get a big attack at, nope, 3.
Yep.
3 was the right number for Sam, and that left him the ability to play around. I think exactly what you said, Monty.
Yeah.
Like a double pyrotechnic, and that's going to do it. Sam Pardee finishes the pod, finishes 3-0 today, 2-1 yesterday in Limited as well. So really strong performance by Pardee in Limited on the weekend. And now he gets to see, can I get a Vein Ripper down a few times in Constructed and secure a top 8?
Yeah.
He's got 9 wins now.
Absolutely. Vein Ripper in Limited to 3-0. Vein Ripper in Constructed, 3 more wins. That'll close the distance. And Marshall, that game was even closer. If there were 2 performers there, if On the Job gets cast first, that would be 6 plus 12. So that could have been 18 just from the flips face up, but Sam was still at 20.
Yeah.
Still out of reach.
See, but he knew that, right?
Yeah.
This wasn't like coincidental.
A lot of great players, at some point in the game, you stop thinking about what's my win condition, and the question flips to what's my lose condition.
Yes.
And you start putting together your opponent's deck list in your mind, and then put together 1 card, put together 2 cards, however many they have access to that are unknowns. Make those the 4 worst cards for you, for example, and then find a plan that beats that rather than just winning the game.
That's right. And you'll see the opposite happen. The more behind you get in a game, the more risk you're willing
Right,
to take
exactly.
to try to get out of it. So we're going to take a short break. When we come back, though, we'll be gearing up at the news desk for the next round of action. Don't go anywhere.